Hey everybody, welcome to the Grand Line Gazette where we talk about One Piece damn near every damn day. My name is Corey. We do not have Kev or Chris here today, but we have a new chapter. Chapter 1137. And you want to know something? Elbaph is ramping up. I am really liking what we are doing right now with Elbaph. So, we're going to go through it. We're going to give our brief thoughts on the chapter, starting with the cover story. If you're a fan of cover stories, we have a full cover story playlist. I believe we just got done with our 7th week. Right now, we are still on the Oni Child Yamato in the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage. This is week 23 of this cover story. They're infiltrating the mysterious hidden base. It's Who's base. Obviously, like with the Beast Pirates, I think he was pretty high up there with the Beast Pirates. We saw the helmet. We saw like the saber-toothed fangs and everything. So, I mean, that's who's who. He was in the world government. He was already pretty high on the list. So it's like, if everything was going to collapse and the fodder, we're going to try to find some new leadership, I think who's who would be appropriate. So, pretty confident that they are all in there now, just kind of discovering it. So we will see what goes on with that. But yeah, so we get to the home of the late King Harold. So the king that Road is taking Nami and Zoro and Luffy to is King Harold's old castle. Nobody's really been there for 14 years. But there does look like someone broke in, like the door's been busted. Zoro mentions that it looks like it was broken from the inside. So somebody was inside trying to get out. So I'm wondering, it doesn't look like this is large enough to be like those giants, because it looks like Road is larger than the whole. You know what I mean? So the giants that the two gods knights ran into, I think they're dead. I don't think they ran away. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Luffy is running around having the time of his life. Zoro is trying to get his bearings, and he's not really the best at that. So Road picks him up, and he picks up Nami, and he's basically like their tour guide through this, and he kind of gives them all the lore drops. He gives them all the lore bombs. He tells us Loki killed King Harold, and since then, like, nobody's really been in here. Tells us about King Harold being like a notable warrior. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of King Harold, but I don't think he's going to be like Odin. There's a lot of theories out right now that King Harold was actually the bad one and Loki is the good one, and Loki's covering for his dad. So we're definitely going to be like interested in seeing how that road leads from Road. So I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that subject, that situation. My bad. I guess I can't really even talk right now. I kind of just woke up. But let us know your thoughts on King Harold actually being the evil one and Loki being the good one. I think it's kind of plausible, especially with how Oda writes. He has done the opposite a number of times. So for him to kind of throw us another loop right now would be like expected. Let's see. On that day that Loki killed Harold, there was like 100 guards, but none of them lived. The only one that survived, Lord Jarl. I'm actually like, now I'm like more interested because we get the full picture of Jarl. He's got his pointy ass beard. He looks like he's a pretty big guy. Looks like he's got like a pretty bad attitude, and he has his scars on the top of his head, which we find out were because he had horns like the ancient giants, and he ripped them out because he didn't want to be like them. He also has like the tattoos, like what's her name back at the school, Ripley. They just said ripped out, Ripley. But yeah, he had ancient giant horns. I'm wondering, because we're getting a lot of races being diluted into things, and that is where we're getting our heroes of the day. Like Our notable characters of the day are people who were like ancient giants connected. There's always a lineage thing. We obviously have Skypeans. We have the Fishmen. We have, damn it, I always say Shandorians, but the Blackwings, like King is. We have those guys. A lot of gene talk, a lot of history talk, a lot of like pre-Destiny talk. One Piece was a big thing where it wasn't really a Destiny thing, and it is a story, so there has to be a legend, there has to be Destiny, there has to be a reason why these people are specific. So I've been hearing a lot. Let me know what you guys have been hearing. I've been hearing a lot about like Nami being related to Lily or Emu. I'm seeing a lot of like I don't know. If there are any theories on lineage, you guys let me know in the comments below. I would definitely like to hear your guys' thoughts. Zoro's kind of like the only one that's like impressed that the king ripped out his own horns. Anything with conviction, Zoro can kind of like get behind, because Zoro is that guy who almost cut off his legs. Back when we were in, what was it? Not Amazon Lily, it was Little Garden. When they were caught up by Mr. 3 with the wax fruit, like, he was like, fuck it, I'll just cut off my legs. He also did that thing for Luffy with, obviously, Kuma. That took a lot of dedication. Him just following Luffy, giving up his dreams sometimes takes dedication, so he's really into that. This is also where we find out that Haruden is Loki's brother. Haruden's like the bastard son. Loki is the official royal son, but I guess Haruden's mom is not from Elbaph. They're giants all over the world. I guess, one of these giants got to Harold, and then you had Haruden. Which I wonder what her name is, because it looks like that Haruden is kind of getting similar to Harold. Or it's like you're kind of naming him after yourself, but it's like there's a combo there. So I wonder if we're gonna get like a reason for the name. Yeah. We find out that people from Elbaph were like hella racist, like hey, against other giants too. So I don't expect them to care too much about humans as a whole. If these people are like prejudiced against other, I mean, I'm only taking that from humans. You know what I mean? Like humans as a whole are very prejudiced against each other. So it's like if we saw somebody else, like they're automatically not in the group. Like we're still trying to figure our shit out. Like if aliens came, it would be like, yeah, and then you guys are just bad. So stay away. So I guess that's the Elbaph demeanor at least 100 years ago. Obviously now with this new generation of kids, they do seem a lot more accepting. Shanks probably did help with that a lot, capturing Loki, but we'll see. But yeah, so Road also gives the backstory between him and Haruden. He was just some nerd who liked making maps and drawing charts. Haruden was like, hey, that's cool, I need somebody that can help. We're friends now. Little kid stuff. It's really easy to make friends as a little kid, but this is also a very Luffy kind of thing. We find out that Haruden's dream is to become king of the giants. So a very similar dream to Luffy. We're getting a lot of characters as well. Like the lineage thing is big, but we're also getting a lot of characters with the personality type of Luffy as well, but just in different facets and different aspects of life. Like Haruden could have his own show about being king of the giants. I think there's enough like substance there to make a show. Now would it be like a show as good as One Piece? Probably not, but that's its own story. Yeah, but it looks like everybody kind of supports Haruden's dream and his ambition, because it kind of seems like that when you're very direct with your dreams and ambitions, like people kind of just like they either don't care or they support you, but like not a lot of people are like outwardly trying to hinder you unless they have something against you, and that's kind of how you find that out. But yeah, all of the other giants in the new Giant Warrior Pirates want to make his dream into a reality, and that's where we sit there. So we get back to Um, it's the arrow fruit. So we get back to the two gods knights. Me and Kev thought this girl had the wrap fruit. I forget her name, but it's actually the arrow fruit. So I don't know if they have to actually start with wrappings or anything, but she can create arrows and control its trajectory. So the first scene we see her, and then I guess it solidifies. So first scene we see her, she's wrapping the arrows around her legs and making like longer stilt-like boots. One does look like it's solidified from hockey already. The other one is like they're just wrapping tautly down the leg, making more leg, making an ankle, making a boot shape and everything. And it's just like, I mean, technically, yeah, as long as that arrow can move, I don't see why this isn't possible. So she has a trajectory fruit. So it's like a principle of physics is like what her devil fruit is. It's just like inertia and movement, but it has a substantial like physical like form. It's kind of weird. Also like Emu's tail, so I wonder. But basically she's like, we're offering you a chance, Loki. Either you can join the celestial dragons, maybe be a god's knight, or you could just die here, squirming and crying and pleading like I killed all your friends. And Loki's like, first of all, I can't move. This is the only reason why you guys are even fighting me. Shank's brother is like, nah, I'd be like this anyway. This is when Gunko, I think her name is, she's like, okay, I'm about done with this. So she detaches the arrow from her foot. So it looks like she has the power of the arrow. It's kind of like the Mark fruit, where Vander Decken can control where anything goes. She gets an arrow and she can control how short it is, how long it is, and when it wraps things, it leaves behind a physical form, so you can either solidify, tear it, wrap people up, strangle them, create new forms and armor and everything like that. So I mean, she could be a sword, you know what I mean? Like she could be a Megazord from like Power Rangers or something if she wanted to. Like she could fight the Iron Frankie. I'm actually looking forward to that. Gunko versus the Iron Frankie now. But yeah, so she just basically starts wailing on Loki. First you get one attack, he doesn't agree. Then you get two attacks, doesn't agree, and then she just keeps upping it every single time. But like Loki can't see, but he can like sense presences. Like he's very strong and he has observation hockey. So Gunko is basically moving her finger around to control the arrow, and he's like I don't even need to see you to know like what's happening right now. Like you're predicting all of your attacks. And this is when Gunko kind of like, I don't think she counters him by saying like, hey, it doesn't matter. But basically Gunko gets away with saying like, hey, like even if I'm predicting my attacks, the outcome is inevitable. These things don't stop. So it is kind of like the Mark fruit until I get what I want. So she gets a new arrow, which, she walks on to get to Loki. I'm not sure where she gets this weapon from. Oh, that's her leg. Okay, this is her leg. Okay, so she gets on the arrow to like walk to Loki, or it probably just like magic carpet, like escalator, like slides her to Loki with the inertia. And then she uses that speed to lift her leg in her now dense metal leg, in her dense metal boot. And she lifts the leg and she kicks Loki across the face. Now that had to fucking hurt. But she also wraps her hand, so now she has giant fists, kind of like Luffy. And she just starts wailing on him again and again and again. And it's kind of like, damn, this is actually... Gunko, I hate the fact that it's like the fact that she's just like beating on a helpless guy kind of makes her cool, but this is kind of cool what she's doing. She also has all of the animals pinned down with more arrows, so they can't even help. They're all just watching Loki get beat. They've known him since he was a kid. He's known them since they were kids. You know what I mean? Like they're pretty pissed that they can't help. The ones that are still alive. The other ones are dead. But yeah. So she keeps it going, and finally, like Loki's like, stop, bro. Like stop. Enough already. Like what are we doing here? Gunko asks if he's gonna actually be a god's knight. And then he basically like sticks his tongue out, laughs, roars, and is like, man, I want to join y'all. Y'all better just kill me. Like, whatever you're doing here, you're just like hitting me and shit like that. Like, I'm not gonna give up. You might as well just kill me. Do it. But that's when this is the scene with Shanks' brother. He says, it's cool. Let's change our tactic. I'm gonna contact Marijwa and let's see if we can try this another way. Long ago, these savages dominated the New World, but they don't really seem too tough anymore. So I don't know. Every piece is gonna be useful, but I'm not too sure if we even need to be here. We find out his name. He's the captain of the Gods Knights, so leader of the Gods Knights. His name is Figureland Shamrock, son of Elder Figureland Garling. So Shamrock is Shanks' brother. If he's a twin brother, half brother, whatever it is, we do not know. But we see this guy. I mean, he's in like colonial armor. Like if you think Pirates of the Caribbean, you got Jack Black and you got the military people. He looks like one of them, but cool because he's in more like black and dark colors. So I do not know what is going to happen next, but what Shamrock says is the next action is that the world government will bring the giants to heel no matter what. So the world government is going to be attacking by the end of this arc. In what form? We do not know. Are we going to see more Holy Knights? Are we going to see an attack? Are we going to see them try to burn the world tree? There's a lot that could go on because just like in Egghead, this will be my last topic. Just like in Egghead, everything happened out of nowhere. It was cool. We're hanging out with Bonnie. We're checking out all these scientists and stuff like that. And then bam, CP9 attacks. And then bam, everything else attacks. The Pacifistas attack. Bam. Oh, damn, we got all these robots. Oh, damn. Then we got the Gorosei. Bam. Now we got a Buster Call. Bam. Now we got Vegapunk dying. So it's like, we can expect the same from Elbaph. The progression's probably going to be crazy. But we're getting all the pieces on the table still. I think there are still a few more pieces that we need before we get to like flashback season. But I do expect a flashback for Figureland. I expect a flashback for Harold, Loki, and Haruden. So we will see. This will be a very, very interesting couple months when it comes to One Piece. Also, I think the live action. I think the show's gonna be coming back soon in like March, so we should be there sooner than later. But this is a quick one. I kind of just rambled through this whole video, but I want to try to stay on schedule. If you guys like this kind of content, please subscribe, like, comment your favorite part of the chapter. It helps out a lot. YouTube's been weird the last 3 months on both my channels. They're already small channels, but it's like you're making it tough to even want to do stuff. But that being said, we're going to keep on rocking. Hopefully you guys keep rocking with us, and we will be back for the next one. Peace.